Ladies and gentlemen, this is Why Am I Nerd presents Outdated Gold. I'm Cameron James. Joining us, as always, is Jason Porter. From the beginning, none other than Just Matt. Hello, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So I took the dive. I told Jason I bought a gaming PC.
Oh, wow.
It was actually dirt cheap. I went to Best Buy to get another laptop for work because my work laptop is like 7 years old. It's like one, and it just can't connect to my mom's like computer anymore at her office where I do like the QuickBooks and stuff. And I was talking to the guy, and like every laptop was like $1,500. And he's like, "Oh, we have this open box one that's $500, or that's only $1,000." I was like, "What's the catch?" He's like, "It doesn't have a charger." I was like, "Sure."
It's an easy fix.
But it's the same. Ironically, it's the same charger that is for the Apple.
Oh, okay.
So I bought it, and I wanted to play Gears Tactics, downloaded it, and then only to find out that Justin Vitale's like, "Oh, you could have got that for not $10 a month if you did a Xbox Game Pass." So I'm like, "You're kidding me, right?" Like I spent fucking $50 on Gears of War 5 and Gears Tactics, and I could
and you could have only paid for it for $10 a month, even when you're not playing it. You'd still be paying $10 a month. So I don't. That's like, unless you're gonna fucking play it every month for the end of time, $10 isn't worth it for fucking one game.
Yeah, but isn't it monthly?
That's what I'm saying. If the Game Pass and you're playing but still. So then you pay $50, but whatever. Still, you're gonna play it for fucking. If you only thought you were gonna play it for like 2 weeks, then you shouldn't have fucking bought it.
No, I'm gonna beat the game eventually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then
I'll try it. I mean, I don't think I'll play Gears of War 5, but for some reason Steam was selling Gears Tactics and Gears of War 5 for $50, or I could have got Gears Tactics for $60. I was like, why? Oh, sure, this makes no sense, but whatever. And then I got a free code from Best Buy that apparently gets me Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I won't be playing.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of over that. But let's dip into what we've been playing. I will go on mine after. So, Jason, you want to start?
I defaulted to Skyrim. The last 3 weeks have been absolutely insane work-wise. I've had maybe 7 hours total playtime. I didn't want to start anything new. It was more of I just need to let my brain decompress for an hour, every couple of nights. So I just kind of played Skyrim until I fell asleep, which happened probably 3 of those nights.
You're playing that on PC or PlayStation?
PlayStation. I just don't have time. There's going to be a lot of movement this week with everything. So I think a lot of stuff will settle down after this week, hopefully. So, yeah.
Did you start a new file?
No. I went back to my default thing that I always play. I just needed something mindless. I just needed something that I could play with half asleep and then eventually, wake up 5 hours later to a turned off TV. Yeah.
Fair enough. Matt?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I got the Mario collection. I've been kind of farting around in 2 of those, and then I bought. Even though you're a fucking idiot last night, and we're texting you, and I'm like, "Oh, I bought Hades on the Switch." You're like, "Buy Hades on the Switch," and it was like that was literally the exact word that I just sent you. I was like, "Is this not even reading the text messages?" I played like 5 minutes of Hades. It's good. I mean, I knew it was going to be good. It's fun. It's a nice little roguelike, and it's fun on the Switch. At some point, I hope they put it on PS4, or at this point, I'm sure they're just going to wait to announce it, and they'll be like, yeah, it's coming to PS4 and PS5, but it's fun. The one thing I did need to do is because I've always, for at least for the last couple of years, I've just been using my Switch in portable, but I actually set the dock up again because it's on the screen because of how the game is constructed. It's very small. So I want to try playing it on the TV to just see it a little bit better and more clearly. So I plugged the dock back in and everything. But that's pretty much it.
That game is like kind of like a tilted isometric type view, right? The game's kind of tilted.
Yeah, all their games are. All their games are that. Transistor was, Bastion was, Pyre was. So that's kind of like their thing.
They weren't the Dead Cells guys, are they?
No, they did those other 3 games that I announced. Yeah, Bastion was the first. Transistor was the second. Transistor came out like right around the launch of the PS4. Like that was like I remember that being a big deal. And then Pyre was their last one.
Bastion looked good.
Bastion was free on PS Plus, so you should have it already.
I've heard of Transistor and Pyre. I haven't played either. They were kind of like indie style things, right?
Yeah. I mean, Supergiant is, I guess you would still technically refer to them as an indie studio because they're smaller, but they have made a lot of, like, all the games they've made have been critically acclaimed. They haven't released anything that's been
kind of like a retro type thing.
Sort of. It depends. I mean, each game's a little bit different. I don't know if you would call it retro because it's not like sprites. It's like nice art. If it's not, I don't know, retro wouldn't be the way that I would describe them. Transistor was very modern, and it was like a tactic style game, and then Pyre was it was a weird like 3 versus 3 kind of thing, which was fun. And then this is just like a roguelike. So it's like a tower climber. You're just seeing how far you can get. Like your character, it's all Greek mythology. So you play the fictional son of Hades, and you're just tired of living in hell, and you're trying to escape. And anytime you die, you're just reborn back into hell. And Hades is like, dude, what are you doing? I told you can't leave. And the goal is to get out. So of course there's, I don't know how many floors there are, but it finally, when they put it on the Switch, they finally hit version 1.0, which is they're out of like their early access. So now it's like, this is the finished product for them. And it's like the highest rated game they've got. And apparently it's already like the best selling digital game on the Switch. So, or one of the best selling digital games on the Switch. Yeah.
That's
so
impressive.
They did a good job. Yeah. They really make great games, and their soundtracks are always fucking awesome.
So are you going to buy it?
Yeah. I'm going to buy it right after the podcast. I'm going to play it immediately after.
Fuck you guys. So I have respectfully given up again on what's it called? Hold on, hear me out. I on Far Cry Primal, it made me realize that 2 things. I forgot how much I hate first person melee games. Like, I just don't like it, and it reminded me how much I hate fighting animals in games. So I actually dipped out and started playing The Order 1886. Mm-hmm. That game is fucking awesome. I don't understand how it got pretty poorly reviewed,
because it got poorly reviewed because people were like, I paid $60 for a 5-hour game. That's what everybody was all up their assholes about. That game, great. As far as I'm concerned, that game is, in truth, it really is. It is somewhat. It's like just shy of a masterpiece to me. The combat is fucking amazing. The graphics are, to this day, still better than 90% of the games that have come out. Yeah, in the last probably like fucking 4 or 5 years. It's crazy how good that game looks.
Yeah, the transition.
I remember talking about this a couple weeks ago. I just jotted it down. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to.
It's $5.
Cameron got it's literally $5 on the PSN right now. Just
go.
Oh
no, I have it. Yeah. I owned it. I played it.
Good.
I played maybe like an hour into it before, and I was fighting like these 3 werewolves, and I'm just like, fuck this.
Yeah, that's like when you do it right in the basement.
Put it down, walked away, never went back.
No, I think it's great.
It is. It really did some amazing work with it cover shooter. It's probably one of the best cover shooters I've ever played. So.
Yeah, like the transition from like cutscene to actual gameplay is almost like, there's been times I'm just like sitting there watching. I'm like, is the cutscene frozen? I'm like, oh
yeah. You're like, I'm supposed to be moving.
I'm supposed to be moving right now. But it's great. I mean, there's like even the weapon design is cool. There's one weapon that I hate that I found. It's the thing that shoots like the freaking like the fire pod.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Gatling gun looking thing. I can't figure out how to really use it. But anyway,
you get like a Tesla like lightning gun.
Yeah,
thing
you
later.
fight the werewolves with
fucking
that.
Sweet. You fight so many different things with so many whack ass weapons. All around though, that game was really just. It's such a shame that they didn't make a sequel to that, because especially now, I would hope that they would still consider a sequel, because that would look fucking ridiculous on a next gen console.
Yeah, it's great. And I think, at the beginning of the game, I was kind of like, heck, the way it started, when you're like escaping the prison, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I thought I was with these 2 dudes. And then I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're going with here. Obviously, without going to any spoilers on it, I know we spoke about a spoiler, maybe not on the show, but us.
No, it was on the show. It was a couple weeks ago with something. So sorry, you guys are beat, so you kind of have an idea, but it doesn't matter. But you'll still enjoy it.
Yeah, without going into the spoiler, obviously here, it's kind of predictable.
It is. It's very predictable, but it doesn't make it any less of a fun story to me.
No, not at all. But I was like, when I saw it, when they first kind of hinted at it, I was like, oh, I could have picked that up immediately. But like, obviously, I knew expecting. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm really glad that you told me just to buy it, because I texted you and I was like, should I buy this? You're like, get it. And I was like, fine.
Dude, for $5, if it sucks, who cares? It's $5. Yeah. You really don't lose. So,
but it's awesome. So right now, I gotta say, Matt, you're 2 for 2 right now for me. I loved Oxenfree and I loved the Order 1886. Obviously, Far Cry Primal, I did not like it, but I was like, all right, I'm done with the first person melee thing. And then
you said you also bought Sleeping Dogs, so you still have that to try too. So I hope you really like that one. That's fun. That's just a fun GTA-ish style kind of game.
And it was $4.
Yeah,
again, $4.
Can't argue with that price. Yeah, no, it's a steal.
So, but
it's a good one.
Yeah. But once again, this is Why Am I Nerd presents Outfitted Gold Games. You can follow us on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I Nerd, and listen to new episodes every Monday on YouTube for your favorite podcast service. So today we are going to be talking about the finally revealed PlayStation event. But let's just dive into the nightmare that they had with the pre-orders. Who wants to start on this? Because I know we all got something to say about this one.
I'll finish this.
Okay.
I'll start this.
Okay, go ahead.
Fuck Walmart.
Agreed on all accounts.
That was a shitty thing to do. Like, I get you want the edge in business and you're doing everything, but that was just a hands down shitty thing for them to do. Yeah. Although the blame kind of equally falls on the other retailers that did the same thing, like immediately after. I get why they did it. I totally understand they needed to jump in on that, but fuck Walmart. That was a shitty thing to do. PlayStation actually tweeted out yesterday, they took, or Sony tweeted out, they took ownership of it. They're like, let's be honest. I'm paraphrasing this. It was like, let's be honest, that was a giant clusterfuck. We're going to try to make this right.
We goofed. We goofed.
It's not up to them to make it right, because it wasn't them that kind of started the whole shit show. But I do respect them for taking ownership of it.
Yeah.
You don't think it was kind of their fault because they didn't actually say when the pre-release was? Like, you found out, like, I was listening to a podcast, the Kind of Funny podcast, and they found out that the pre-release from Jeff Keighley, and it's like he found out, like, he announced like 15 or 20 minutes after the show is over. So why did they not just say it at the end of the show? And someone actually said that they felt that the show was pre-recorded and it was done like months ago. They were just waiting for Xbox to release it, and like the panel when they actually announced like the price, it was just a simple like, all right, copy and paste, here's dropped in, here's our price tag. Where then they could have done the same fucking thing and just dropped in, hey, pre-orders start tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time at all retailers, instead of just.
Well, you could sign up for like pre-order information and stuff on Sony, and they would, you would be randomly selecting stuff like that. Sony obviously had a system in place for it, and then other retailers kind of like jumped the gun. To me, at least, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think?
Well, my final piece will come into play, but no, it's when you announce a console like that, the one thing that they should have done if they were smart would have just been, you don't tell companies how many they get before you want them to be able to let people pre-order. They shouldn't have told any of their retailers how many consoles they were going to be allocated until they were like, here's the date that it's coming out, here's how many you're going to get. So then what they fucked up by doing is saying, hey guys, we're announcing it today, each of you is getting however many fucking units for pre-order. So that's how they fucked up. Granted, that being said, even if they hadn't told Walmart, Best Buy, everybody how many units they'd be allocated, those companies still could have launched their pages and just taken pre-orders anyways, and then said, cool, well, we took fucking 500 pre-orders, but we only got 100 of them. We gotta cancel 400 of them. So, I mean, they've already been doing that to a lot of Target, Best Buy, I think even Walmart too. They've been canceling a lot of pre-orders because some people were doubling down and somehow getting past like the limit one per household kind of thing. And then some of them, people have like programs like that they have on their computers for like, it's like a bot for buying things. So they just set the computer and it just automatically buys it. And they realize like, okay, this wasn't purchased by a person. It was just done automatically. So then they just cancel that too. But It's not to say that it wasn't a shit show, because it was. And, when Microsoft came back out and they were like, hey guys, don't worry, the hype's high and everything like that, but you can pre-order it on the 22nd or whatever at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That was good. They were fucking smart, and they'll benefit greatly from that. But yeah. Sony goofed a little bit, but in truth, it is not completely their fault. Walmart is just a bunch of fucking cunts.
Were you surprised? You guys surprised the price?
No.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I figured that the digital version was right in the middle of where I thought it would be. A little bit on the higher end, actually, but like right there.
Really?
Yeah. I figured they would price that digital version very aggressively. The physical version, it's on the extreme upper limit of where I thought it would be. Again, I figured it would come in like around that 470 mark. Just for pricing, once you get past 475, that's kind of like another tier. I figured they would bring it as close to like, 474, 469.99, whatever. But, 499, not a huge shocker.
Well, you got to remember though, with the disc-based edition of it, their bomb on it is like 470 or 475. So if they were selling it any less than 475, then they're taking every console at a loss. At least with this, they're getting about $20 or so.
Yeah. So, I mean, my whole reasoning for the version was, let's be honest, I'm on the older end of gaming. I'm not going anywhere soon, but I'm at the point now where we're fewer and further between. The younger generation that they're catering to is honestly a generation of everything streaming right fucking now. If Sony's a smart company, I would imagine they would have priced the digital version much more aggressively, because they wouldn't have all of the associated costs with physical discs. They wouldn't have the actual cost of the disc, the casing for the disc, the inserts, the design of the front and back cover. They would have all of those expenses not included, because you're just physically downloading a game. So the back end profit on that versus a physical disc, I think, is going to be a lot higher for Sony. I'm kind of surprised they didn't lower that price, maybe like $30 for the digital version, just to make it much more appealing and get it in front of as many people as possible, knowing that people are going to be buying the streaming services, they're going to be downloading the games and everything that way.
I kind of feel like the argument is the fact of like, so Xbox has obviously the Series S, which is the $299, and the X, which is the $499, which is the same as PlayStation's disc drive version. But the Series S and X have different specs, and they're pretty fucking significant. Like, it's not
exactly. And I think that's the point. So just a quick point, Jason, from what I've been seeing too, at least in the news, it seems like could be by design, but it looks like the pre-sales for the PS5 right now, it's about 80-20, 80 being the disc-based one. So most people are pre-ordering the disc-based one, and there's actually much more limited quantities of the digital one. So at least for right now, I think Sony might have hedged its bets and assumed that people would have wanted to go with the disc-based version more to have that option. But then, of course, if the sales end up being really good for digital, then, of course, they'll just start pushing out more. But, yeah, that difference in price, though, between the Xbox consoles is because there is a reduction in quality of what you're getting. So you're not getting as fast of a – there's not as much RAM. There's not as much like the resolution. The graphics card, I think, is a little – is like a step down. It's a sig. That can account. That's why. I mean, I think where Sony put the digital edition, it's not making a compromise on the quality of what it is. It's just purely saying we're taking out a disc drive. That's it. You're getting the exact same fucking thing. You just can't play discs, which I think $399 is pretty conservative for that. Because then I think with that one, I don't know what the bomb is on that, but I feel like that's probably where they're going to make more money on the sales with those, because of what they're already going to be saving by not having put in a disc drive.
Yeah, I think hardware, the what they're saving in hardware and the other costs that they won't have that I mentioned a few minutes ago for the physical discs.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be more profitable for the digital. I'm not saying within the first 3 weeks or the first 6 months. I think long term, the digital version is going to be
sure
for them.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was actually, when I saw the price, I was surprised. I was like, wow, that's pretty cheap. Like for a sense of like, you're going to take off $100 just to not have a disk drive. And like, I didn't look at it in the way that you guys just kind of broke it down. So thanks for breaking it, down properly. Now I was just kind of like, all right, there's no disk drive, whatever. Like, how much does a disk drive cost if you go to fucking Best Buy? It costs like $20. That's why I was like,
well, that's why. And for them, they make their own Sony. Almost every Blu-ray disc player that exists is made by either like Sony or Toshiba. So they make their own fucking thing. So in truth, it really didn't cost them that much to cut that out of the picture. It just saved them a little bit of effort. That's really it. They didn't save a lot of money. I think for them, a disk drive probably costs less than $20. So that was not a big deal. But obviously for the consumer, it results in a significant reduction in price.
I also think, what did you guys think about that PlayStation Plus collection? I thought that was a pretty smart move.
Yeah, I think that was good on them. That was for people that have never played those games before. There were one or two I haven't played just because I had zero interest in them. But knowing how popular they were amongst everyone else, and the ones that I have physically played and loved, I think that is hands down an amazing collection.
I mean, that's a deal and a half. Yeah, it's crazy.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead. No.
So you're getting essentially 10 games there, whatever it was, and then it was like Mortal Kombat X, which I was like,
here, hold on, I'll read it. I'll read the list.
And even if you've never played those games before, and assuming that you can find them somewhere for $10 each, when you factor all that in, you buy the PlayStation 5, whatever it is, you get all those games, take $100 off.
Yeah. All right. So here's the full list. I'm going to run through this like rapid fire. I don't know what the price is on this thing, but here it goes. God of War, Bloodborne, Monster Hunter World, Final Fantasy 15, Fallout 4, MKX, Uncharted 4, Ratchet and Clank, Days Gone, Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human, Battlefield 1, Infamous Second Son, Batman Arkham Knight, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us, Persona 5, and Resident Evil 7. I have every one of those games, I think, except for 2. That is a ridiculous assortment of games for anybody. And I mean, I don't know what the price is going to be on it, but I feel like there's definitely not going to be free.
No, I thought it was
maybe free if you already have Plus.
That's what I thought it was. I was under the impression it was like if you have PlayStation Plus, you automatically get these 10, 12
I mean,
games.
Maybe that is the case, but I feel like if you don't have
on it too.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, then again, if you don't have PlayStation Plus, I would think they could possibly sell this as a separate thing. Like you go to the store and you get the little fucking piece of cardboard that says like, this is the PlayStation Plus collection and it costs however many dollars. I mean, dude, you could charge $100 for this shit and it's still a good deal. This is a ridiculous assortment of games I mean, that's why I don't know what it is, but if you have PlayStation Plus and they just say, no, if you have PlayStation Plus, you just get this shit, that adds a ridiculous amount of value to your $60 a year for that subscription.
Yeah.
And it's across all genres too.
Yeah,
it is. There's no one particular game. It's not like it's all first person shooters. That crosses the whole spectrum, except I think for like sports. There's no like basketball or football on there. Apart from that though, or like maybe racing. Was there a racing game on there?
Yeah,
but for the most part, it covers a wide breadth of shit.
I thought Forza was going to be on there, but they didn't put it
Forza's Xbox only. You mean Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo, yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah, I thought they were going to do that, but I guess I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good deal. I don't understand how
amazing deal.
I don't understand how anyone would argue it.
Is Gran Turismo available at launch? I couldn't find anything.
I don't think so. Not yet. That's not yet that I've seen that it's a launch title, but I would probably think maybe like launch window.
That's surprising to me because Gran Turismo was like one of their.
That's the hallmark thing when they launch. Yeah. It's like a tech demo. When basically every Gran Turismo game is like a really cool tech demo for racing games.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I played a racing game. Obviously, I don't even know what the difference between Gran Turismo and Forza is. So, I mean, it's way out of my. I have no interest.
Well, it's Italian. They're both Italian. So,
all right, I got that going for me. But yeah, like when they showed that collection midway through, I was like, who the fuck wouldn't want to buy this? Like even if you bought the $400 one, like I get it. Like again, when I finally got the gaming computer, like I went back to buy it yesterday, and I was like. And when I found out about the Microsoft Game Pass thing, whatever they call it. They call it Game Pass, right? Yeah, Game Pass. I was like, wait a minute. So the PC cost me $1,000. Okay, sure, it's $500 more than Microsoft, but now I can play PC games and I can play Microsoft games. Like, why would I buy a fucking Xbox? Like, I have no reason.
You have that option now. Yeah, you have that option. So in truth, if you've got a really good PC, there's no reason for you to get an Xbox because you can just buy an Xbox controller and plug it into your fucking computer and you've got the same experience.
Yeah.
So, and you have a decent spec PC that you can actually do work shit on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have 3 fucking computers in my house, so now it's like ridiculous, but it's like a nightmare and a half. So, but yeah, I thought it was a good move for them. So, I mean, they obviously they showed off games. Jason, can you stay for the games or do you want to peace on out of here?
Yeah. I have a bit longer. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to say here's a word from our sponsor now then.
Why Am I a Nerd podcast network has been brought to you by our sponsor, Me Moms. The best breakfast and lunch down the Jersey Shore with 3 great locations in Wall Township, Middletown, and Brick, New Jersey. Me Moms specializes in unique and fun takes on your traditional lunch and breakfast items. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find more information at www.memoms.com.
And we're back.
Oh wow, that was quick. That was a lot faster than I expected. Wow.
Yeah, that was a quickie.
Literal quick word.
So they obviously then showed. Again, we're still here talking about PlayStation right now. The games that they were kind of showing off for some this year, and then probably most of them were, I would say, obviously next year. So real quick, I'm gonna run through the games so we can just kind of talk about it. They showed off Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man Miles Morales, the Harry Potter RPG, which is Hogwarts Legacy or Legend, something or other.
Legacy.
Call of Duty Cold War, which I heard the alpha that they released last week was pathetic because I heard the graphics are
it's happening right. It's happening right now.
Yeah, my friend played it. He played it on Friday. That's why I said last week. I mean, like 2 days ago. He's like, dude, I couldn't even fucking play it. Resident Evil Village, Deathloop, Devil May Cry Special Edition, Oddworld, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which I couldn't figure out what the fuck that was. Demon Souls, Fortnite, the PlayStation Collection, and then the big reveal at the end, which is God of War Ragnarok.
Amazing. Just gonna say that is a good fucking one more thing mic drop moment for that.
You know what the best is? I turned my computer off and I was like, you know what? There's no way they're just gonna end it on that collection thing. So I turned my computer back on. It was just like, my screen was black. I was like, oh, I guess they're not showing anything. And then I just heard a voice. I'm like, no fucking way. And they started to put the symbol on. I was like, okay.
It should come as no surprise that game was in development, but they did say that the development cycle of the next one would not take nearly as long as the first one did. So it wouldn't surprise me if that is a 2021 game, but it would probably be like a late 2021 game. I don't think that's like first quarter or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I did hear that people are saying that they think this is going to be like a lost legacy for God of War, where it's just kind of like,
if you're doing the concept of Ragnarok, which is, in mythology is the end of the world, and you make that a 1.5, that's a fucking waste.
That's just what people were rumoring, because they're like, there's no way they did the turnaround in that game that quick.
Dude, it's been fucking, at this point, we're closer to almost 3 years since the fucking one came out. It came out in April of 2018. At this point, we're 2.5-ish years out. So, yeah, there's no way that they were just making God of War and then God of War came out and they were like, yeah, we're going to take 6 months or a year off and not doing anything. They got to have shit in the pipeline. So they were already working on this by time that one came out.
Jason, did you play God of War?
I have. I've played a few minutes.
What?
One of them. No, like I've never. I have a couple of them between digital and physical. Listen, I know.
This is like a Witcher thing all over again.
I know.
Boy, you are missing really, truly one of a very emotionally driven experience of a game.
Even the cat's crying in the back.
You get really.
Dude, that game is a fucking work of art.
I have multiple versions of it. I have multiple games.
Yeah, but you just gotta play 2018s. Fuck the other ones.
Yeah, you don't have to play the old ones. Just play the new one.
Okay.
Like if you were to play like the first three, they kind of played more. They reminded me more of like Devil May Cry, just like how fast they kind of were. And then this one was more like slow pace. You're fighting like it's kind of almost like not Demon Souls, but like that type of thing. Where you're only fighting like one or two, three enemies at a time until you get to the freaking gauntlet thing when there's like throwing hordes and waves of people at you. But I can't believe you didn't play. I think you'd really like that game too. That game was awesome. Especially when you throw the freaking axe for the first time. It was like, okay, this is where it's at. But I was surprised that they showed it. Again, I know a lot of people think that's going to be a 1.5. I agree with you, Matt. If they do that, I think it's fucking stupid as shit.
It's a fucking total waste. That game will be, that is the sequel. This will be the sequel to fucking, I mean, who knows? I could obviously be totally wrong, but I would say that they're not gonna half-ass it. This is the sequel. As long as it takes them to put it out, late next year would be the earliest I would think that this thing would be coming out. And then, probably more like 2022, but whatever. I'm getting it anyways.
Going down the list again from the beginning too, was Final Fantasy 16. I was pleasantly surprised that that actually caught my attention. And I was like, this game, I was like, Final Fantasy, fuck Final Fantasy. Then when they showed like the gameplay and what it was actually doing and like the concept behind this one, I was like, okay, I can get behind this. And I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy. And I was totally like, what's up with this?
Yeah.
Jason, you were nodding when I said that.
Yeah. So the one thing I was kind of disappointed about the graphics in it.
I'll give you that.
I was kind of thinking it would be a little bit, they were very good. I was kind of thinking, and they had the typical Final Fantasy flamboyancy that they always have. I thought they would be a little bit more defined. Not that they weren't sharp or clear. I just thought it would be more detail.
I agree with you on that.
Final Fantasy's always got a little bit more of a, it looks real, but still it's uncanny. It's like it has that fantasy-like feel to it. I don't think it needs to be. And
again, we're still months away from release at the earliest.
That's why this could be one of those things where they didn't put the disclaimer on there, but this could be like pre-alpha footage, and then by the time it comes out, it's gotten a graphical update. But whatever.
I mean, there were cutscenes from Final Fantasy 13 that looked better than what we saw for 16. So I'm with Matt at that point. I'm hoping this is just some sort of like early edition, like, hey, this is what's coming. Spoiler.
Yeah.
No, I think it's good.
I like.
I'm in.
I liked how they, at least from the 3.5 minutes that we saw, it looks like there's going to be a very in-depth look between summoners and their summons. And how the two of them kind of like interact and or live together. So
I'm not sure I like the new name of what they call the summons, though. Did you catch that in the trailer? I think they referred to them as icons because they're talking about Shiva at one point in the trailer, and then they're like, "Oh, there's some other people," and they summon their icon, and it's
and the icon's the dominant and everything.
Yeah, right. So I think they're calling them icons now, which is a little weird. But then again, in 13 they called them Eidolons.
What was that? No, 12. What was the Eidolons? 12 or 13?
No, 13 called them Eidolons. 12 called them Espers, which is the same thing they used for 6. The Espers is pretty traditional for them. Summons was used from like 7 through like 10. I think they call them. Yeah,
there's always every couple of years there's a different name, but they're all the same. But yeah, icons is kind of weird.
It's a little lackluster. I hope they maybe change that.
Yeah.
So then
I'm sold on that game though.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'll get it.
Then they went and showed Miles Morales, which to me was just Spider-Man. It looked prettier, different music, different kind of vibe, but it didn't do any, like, it didn't blow me away. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get back into, playing Spider-Man. I platinumed the one for PS4. I think you did too, Matt. And then I know for the PS5, they're doing like an Ultimate Edition where you get Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man one, all the DLC, and Miles Morales for only PlayStation 5. I was under the impression of for like $70, which that's cool. I mean, that's
like $100.
No, I think
the
it's
Ultimate Edition. The Ultimate Edition is, I think, like with everything with Miles Morales and then the remaster.
Yeah,
version,
I thought
like
you should look that. I thought it was only $70, but I mean that's cool. I mean, I would never get that, nor do I think. I mean, that's a lot of Spider-Man gameplay. So, Jason, did that catch your attention at all, or no?
Spider-Man was never my thing. No.
Yeah.
It looked nice. It looked really cool. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I'm not going to
get it for like $10. I'd play it, but I was just never into that Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, no. So it looked good. It showed a lot of good graphics, but again, I'm the same with you. I'm not dying jumping to get it. Then they showed the Harry Potter RPG, which
I'm in.
Ends up.
Oh,
really?
I'm fucking dude. I'm super in. I'm so in for that shit.
I was watching. I'm going to play the shit out of this game. So when they were going through the trailer and everything, and I'm like, wow, you know what? Wouldn't this be really cool if it were kind of like the way they were talking about it, I'm like, wouldn't this be really cool if this were kind of like a Knights of the Old Republic? And then as I was halfway through that thought, they had the scene where it's like, okay, you choose your own path. Like, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. The first thing that came to my mind was Boy Wizard Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Get out of that game and just fuck as much shit up as I can.
Matt, what about you? What do you think?
Oh, dude, I remember reading, probably it feels like this point, like a year ago, that there was like rumors of some kind of Harry Potter game in development, and there were like leaked pictures, and people were like, is it though? Is this real? And everything. And I'm like, listen, that'd be a really cool fucking concept. I sure as shit was not expecting that at the show. And that's probably like that's probably the underdog hit for a lot of people because, Spider-Man, yeah, it's cool. Fucking Final Fantasy. Oh yeah. There's that community, but then you can't really call it Harry Potter because it's not, it's like a couple hundred years before it's even like 200 years before Voldemort even came into the picture. So this is long before any of that shit.
It's like the 1800s, right?
It is, yeah. It's like, and I think, because in the books for Harry Potter, they take place in the 90s. And so that would mean that I think Voldemort was in the picture in like the 20s, if I recall correctly. Like that's when he was like at his peak of like fucking being an asshole. So this is like 1800s. This predates all of that. So it just, what they can do with the story is just totally brand new shit. I love it.
Maybe if you like play and you get to like the highest level of evil,
you can be Voldemort in that universe. That'd be fucking sweet. It's like Fable. You become Voldemort in that universe. That's awesome.
Glad you. I mean, yeah. I thought
now I want to play it even more now.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it looked cool. Obviously, whenever people talk about it, they keep talking about whoever the writer is for the books. I guess there's some.
J.K. Rowling. She's not involved. Period. She's not involved at all, and that's what everybody's like cheering for because she's been an asshole lately with a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't follow like pop culture, so I don't really know what the hell she's done that made people hate her so much. But it sounds like it's probably just something that's going on with the world. She probably just has like the wrong.
She had some opinions on some things.
That's what I meant. That's the word.
They're not great, but her not being involved in this is fine. Like, let some other people have some fun with this universe and do some cool shit. Like, I hope it stays consistent with what I've done in my life because I hope I get selected into Slytherin because that's when I did Pottermore. I was put into Slytherin. So I hope I'm part of the douchey kids at school.
It looked cool. Then moving on, we had Call of Duty Cold War. Looked like Call of Duty. Nothing.
It's cool.
Every single one of those games runs together for me.
Yeah,
does look nice though. I'll say it looks very nice.
I'll give you that.
Very visually, very cool. Yeah.
Resident Evil Village. I thought the little cartoony fable book things that they were showing in that trailer was like, I was like, was this gameplay? Like, what is this? Did you saw that? That was weird.
Yeah.
That was strange. I kind of got turned off a little bit by like the super werewolfy shit that jumped out at the end. I was like, okay, but I thought it looked cool. I want to see more on it because it's definitely not in the Resident Evil universe that we're all used to. And I liked Resident Evil 7. I thought it was cool. I thought the boss fight at the end was fucking crap though. But I'm excited for that one. Deathloop. It looks a little too sophisticated for me. To be honest, I don't know if anyone else, back on anyone else's attention, but not me. Devil May Cry Special Edition, definitely not for me. Matt, I know you're a Devil May Cry guy now.
I've liked Devil May Cry for years, and I did play Devil May Cry 5 on PS4. I have it digitally. I don't know if they're doing a free upgrade for it or not, but the special edition is only $40. So if you never played the game and you got the brand new console and it's something that interests you, it's cool. The graphics in that game are fucking incredible. Probably some of the most, even though it's a weird, wacky, like super bombastic kind of world. The graphics are fucking incredible in that game, and the actual like gameplay combat mechanics are some of the most fluid I've ever played in any game. Like, it feels good to fight in that game, and especially if you're into like fighting games and doing combos and stuff like that, it's just it's like a hot knife over butter. It's fucking great. So yeah.
Oddworld, that catch anyone's attention?
I was never crazy about those when I was a kid.
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. I just couldn't figure out what it was. I guess it's the same thing as every other Five Nights at Freddy's. You just sit in a fucking room and press buttons.
Pretty much.
It's a good game for VR. It's not something I would play probably without VR. Demon Souls. So I gotta say, I'm not those games. Obviously, I beat Neo 2 and I beat Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, so I pat myself on the back for that. But this game has my undivided attention because I just think it looks just fucking great. And I was like, okay, I can do this. I can run, dodge, one kill people. And then I saw the boss fight and the guy got hit twice and died. And I was like, what?
Time out. That was one of the worst things about that trailer because they gave people such a false impression of that game. You are not walking around one-shotting those dudes in diapers. They will destroy you. No, that is just for the show, for the trailer. You don't one-shot those fuckers. You got to hit them at least a few times before they fucking die. So that was one of the worst things about that trailer, just giving people false impressions, because people are going to be like, oh, this is cool. Like, I don't know what Demon Souls is. This is going to be fun. I'm going to play that game. And then they're going to be returning it in like 20 minutes because they're going to get pissed because they're dying a lot.
But I noticed that game, and we'll wrap up soon because Jason, I know you got to go. But I noticed that game didn't have a health bar, and it didn't have there's no stamina meter.
That was a cinematic trailer. They didn't.
Is that what that was?
Health? Yeah, dude. What the fuck do you think? There's no health bar in that game? Of course, there's a health bar.
Well, no, I knew there was.
The trailer,
I thought that was actual gameplay, and I was like, maybe they just took the health bar and stamina meter.
No, it was gameplay, but it was also partially cinematic. There's a lot of things about that trailer that you can tell from if you play these Souls games, that there are too many uncanny things happening in there that that wouldn't normally happen. You're not one-shotting enemies like that until maybe later in the game, and that's literally the fucking beginning of the game. And they just probably didn't put the health bar because they didn't want to put that up there. They just wanted to make it look a little more cinematic, so they took the HUD out. That's it.
I mean, I thought it looked great. I was blown away by it.
It's incredible. Load times are literally 1 second. So now when I touch a port stone and I'm trying to go to another area, it literally takes less than a second. It's basically instantaneous, which is incredible because the load times back on PS3 took a while.
Jason, you're going to say something?
No, it's nice that the load times.
You're not a Demon Souls guy, right, Jason?
No.
I mean, it would be. I mean, for a launch title game, which they claim it is, I think that's interesting because. No, I'm saying I think it's interesting because I mean, it's definitely a game you're gonna be stuck playing for a while because it's not easy. From obviously horror stories that I've heard about the game, so I think it's a smart move. What were your guys' final impressions on the whole show? Because I did think that there was some stuff that was kind of that they did really well, and but I also think that there's some kind of disappointments in the show. I kind of was a little just disappointed, and they didn't really show anything besides God of War, Final Fantasy, and you could say Harry Potter that was really something that was new. Everything else we had already kind of seen. We just kind of saw more of it, and I think the big thing for me that kind of I'm mixed feelings on is that nothing really had a release date. Like they were just kind of like coming 2021, coming at launch. They didn't really put like necessary release dates on anything, and I kind of thought that was a little strange. But I guess maybe they don't know if they're going to be able to. They just don't want to keep delaying shit like what happened this year.
So my biggest gripe about the whole release was it was show a picture or show a couple trailers, show a picture of the hardware, show a couple more trailers, put up the pricing, show a couple more trailers. We didn't see anything, menu screen, anything like that. They really didn't expand upon the controller, because these controllers are technological marvels. I would have liked to see some more specs on the controllers. I would have liked to see kind of, how the controllers worked as far as the haptic feedback and the controller locking and everything. I would have liked to, for example, for the Call of Duty game, I would have liked to have seen the gun jamming feature on the controller. Like as somebody was playing, exactly how that controller would lock up and what you had to do to clear it. I would have liked to see more hardware specific things versus just game trailers. Not that the game trailers weren't great in their own rights. I would have just liked to see more of the actual system as well. What does that menu screen look like? What are we going to have when we turn it on? How long is it going to take between pressing that power button to navigating that menu screen?
Yeah. They definitely didn't. Do we think that the console will be able to be laid flat, or do we think it's only vertical?
No, it's both. It's oriented in both ways. So just a little bit of detail on that, not to get too lengthy on it. There was they released some pictures from the NCC, which is like a trade commission in Taiwan, where they actually had someone like taking pictures of it. So they're already, I think, like out in the field, like they're already in transit. Sony apparently booked like 60 747 planes to get these like air freighted to make sure that everybody's getting them when they come out. But they were taking the measurements. So when apparently the console ships, previously with all consoles, Sony would release a stand separately if you wanted to mount it vertically. But apparently the console comes with a mount where it can be mounted horizontally or vertically. So it can be oriented either way. But when you see a lot of the pictures, the picture that was on there, the fucking thing is big and it's laying flat. But I think most people are going to probably want to stand this thing up to save space. It's big.
Do you guys think that they will eventually, when they release, obviously they're going to probably do some sort of pro version or a new model in 3 or 4 years. Do you think they'll make it smaller?
Definitely. I think that's going to be the first thing they do. I don't know if they're going to go for a pro version and improve on the hardware in it. I think their first thing is to make it smaller while maintaining what they've already got. And then if they want to try to make it better, performance and everything wise, they can. But I think size is going to be the first thing called into question. The thing vertically, it's just shy of 16 inches tall. It's about as tall as most computer towers.
That's tall.
Yeah, it's fucking big. Like when you look at these, I'll send some of the pictures to you guys after we get off. But like when you look at they have the pictures of the back of this thing, it's just littered with ports all over the back for like fans and like cooling. Like this thing is it's a thick boy.
So I guess my other thing is then before we go is when do you think they will say, hey, here's another round of pre-orders? Or do you think we're shot? Do you think it's over?
Well, they said in the tweet that came out over the weekend, I think it was yesterday.
I sent that to you guys. Right? Was that you sent it to me?
We're going to make this right. We're going to be releasing another round of pre-orders. Let me see if I can pull this up here real quick.
So I got a spoiler alert for you guys.
You pre-ordered one.
I didn't, but I got one.
What?
Yeah. So I got a text on Friday. I was sitting in the office and Eric texted me. Him and his brother were on a group chat. You know that meme I sent you with Thanos punching the fucking Iron Man and it's like a small kid? They were like, oh, haha, it's funny. And they were like, oh, did you get one? I was like, no, dude, this whole thing's been shitty. And I was like, did you get one? And Eric's brother Jacques was like, yeah, dude, I got one on Target. That's awesome. And then Eric sent a picture of a Best Buy pre-order. And I was like, oh shit, he got one. And then there was a note underneath it. He's like, I don't know if you got a pre-order, but this isn't a joke. He's like, I already got mine from Target. If you want this digital edition, it's yours. So
his brother got two.
So Jacques, Eric's brother, got his on Target. Eric was able to pre-order one on Target, but then Eric was also able to pre-order one on Best Buy. And he's like, if you didn't get a pre-order and you want one, you can. This is yours. If you want it. So nice. Yeah, but granted, I'm still gonna try to get out there and pre-order as many of these fucking things as I can, and just be like, who needs a pre-order? Do you need it? Do you need it? Do you need it? Get out there and just keep doing that. So it's not gonna stop me, but at least I have a backup plan.
So the tweet from PlayStation was, let's be honest, PS5 pre-orders could have been a lot smoother. We truly apologize for that. Over the next few days, we will release more PS5 consoles for pre-orders. Retailers will share more details. And more PS5s will be available through the end of the year. So this isn't going to be one of those, if you don't get it pre-ordered, if you don't get it on launch day, you're fucked until, March. So, I mean, I'm going to keep my eyes out on a couple places, not Walmart, over the next few days. I'm going to look like Best Buy.
Respect.
Amazon, of course, I know that's probably going to be a long shot because everybody and their mother's looking at Amazon right now. And that's probably like the primary place where a lot of people are going. But even like Newegg, stuff like that. I'm just going to keep my eye open for a physical one.
Keep your eyes on Best Buy too. Like, and also just keep your eyes on like physical, like going into a GameStop pre-orders, because that's going to be, they're going to get more allocated. And I was talking to my friend Nick, who still works for GameStop. I remember when the PS4 came out, the first like 2 weeks it was out, you couldn't fucking get it anywhere. Within a week or two after that, you couldn't go into a store and not get your hands on one.
Yeah.
So it's just that initial wave of, oh fuck, you weren't able to get a pre-order, you're not going to get it. They would be so fucking stupid if they had all of their units produced and sold before Thanksgiving. That would be terrible, because there are going to be people that are going to be trying to get this as a Christmas present. So I would expect too, most stores on Black Friday are going to have units as well. Granted, you have to fucking fight people to get them, but though there will be units in stores on Black Friday and even after that, like leading into Christmas. Limited, but yeah, they'll be there.
I mean, for me, look, at the end of the day, like if I have to wait until December, January to get one, like it's
totally fine.
I'm not going to, cry about it or be little bitches in the corner. I have plenty of stuff I can still be playing on PlayStation 4. Obviously I have the PC that I'll be fucking around with as well. So I don't necessarily need it right now. If I get my hands on one, cool. Matt, if you grab one and you grab me one, sweet, thanks. So here's the money. Let's get involved.
And that's exactly it. Yeah, like if I already said to like Eric, I was like, listen, if I go to a GameStop and I'm able to get a physical pre-order at GameStop, I'm taking that one, because I would rather pick mine up, because I already took the 2 days like of launch off so that I could sit around and play it if I get it. But if all of a sudden I see a pre-order up on Amazon and I can get a digital or a fucking disc-based one, it's going to be like, which one of you two wants this one? And then all you got to do is just fucking give me the money and I'll just tell you to come pick it up at my house. That's it. Like I'm trying to get as many pre-orders as I can, not because I'm trying to scalp them, but I'm just trying to help out everybody I know get their fucking hands on one. I want it to be a PS5 Christmas for everybody.
I know.
I want it to be a PS5 Christmas, so I want everybody to have it.
No, it'll be good. It'll be exciting to see what happens. Again, hopefully they fix it sooner than later, but we'll see what it is. So once again, this is Why Am I Nerd since Alpha Beta Gold Games. You can follow us on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I Nerd, and listen to new episodes every Monday on YouTube and your favorite podcast service. I'm Cameron James. That's Jason Porter. Just Matt. Till next time, we're out.
Peace.